Welcome to the Hawksworth Unfiltered podcast, brought to you by Hawksworth Blood Center at the University of Cincinnati. I'm Ashley Smith, and today we're with Dr. O for In the Know with Dr. O. Hello, Dr. O. How are you today?
Hello, Ashley. I'm doing great.
Good. Okay, so today we're asking you questions that donors have asked in blood donor subreddit. Now, I don't spend a lot of time on Reddit, but I know that, well, this particular page gets 30,000 weekly visitors. There are a lot of people that talk about blood donation on Reddit, and actually locally. There was just a question recently. Somebody said, like, do you have a place to donate that's a community blood bank? And somebody mentioned Hawksworth, and then there was a couple other people that mentioned Hawksworth. It's really cool.
That's very cool.
This is where these questions are coming from. They come all the way from, of course, again, locally here in the Hawksworth area, Florida, Scotland. It's all over the place. But of course, we're representing the Cincinnati area. And as from what I've seen, we are the only blood center to have joined the page officially. So maybe some other blood centers should be like us, but we have taken it upon ourselves to answer any of the questions that may be a good source of information for donors. So this could be a widely viewed podcast.
Oh my gosh.
So here we go.
Okay,
starting off, somebody said, I have my first blood donation tomorrow, low-key nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Not a big fan of needles, relatable to a lot of people that we have on staff, Sophia. Shout out to Stick With Me. Anything I should know beforehand. So again, if they are afraid of needles, what should they know?
I would hydrate well.
Okay.
I think that's number one. I would eat a normal meal beforehand. And so don't go in fasting or anything like that. Be prepared afterwards to take some time and to really hydrate well afterwards and eat some salty snacks afterwards. But really, I think that would be the main thing. Don't really change your habit a ton.
I like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go in fasting. I would try to have something.
Yeah.
You don't want to have like a huge fatty meal or anything like that either. Yeah, it's interesting. Don't go to an all-you-can-eat buffet beforehand because all your blood will go to your gut, and
that's a good point.
Yeah, but don't go in not having anything.
Okay, I like that. Okay, somebody else said, I donated blood last week and it went well. No dizziness or lightheaded, but did have a headache for 24 hours. Now, since I have noticed minor things made my heart race and I am more winded when they're walking or even while talking. Is this normal?
Yeah, so the headache 24 hours is not normal, right? But people definitely can feel, the loss of blood volume after donation. And so it's really important afterwards to eat well and, again, opportunity to have salty snacks and to drink a lot of fluids and not alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Some people say to avoid coffee, which I know it can dehydrate you out, but I kind of feel like the caffeine is okay. But don't go crazy on just coffee, right? I mean, have other fluids as well.
Right.
To feel winded after donation, a lot of that can be psychological, but you think about like elite bicycle riders, right? And they are doing blood doping, right? Where they give themselves a
Mr.
transfusion.
Armstrong,
maybe. Maybe, I don't know. When you give blood, you're kind of doing the reverse of that, right? So I remember at one blood center I was at, I was talking to a donor afterwards in the relaxation area, and he's like, oh, I just did a double red cell donation, and like I'm scheduled to do this bike race tomorrow.
Oh, yikes.
Or run or something. I'm like, am I going to feel it? I'm like, yeah. Unfortunately.
Yes, you are.
So you can feel more winded after donating. It is part of the recovery process, but if you're a regular blood donor, one of the biggest recommendations to give is to take daily iron supplementation. Yeah. And if you can find a multivitamin that contains iron, that's always a good solution.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm a frequent donor. I try to go every 56 days, and I'm a woman. Huh? I have 59 lifetime whole blood donations under my belt. Went for my 60th donation recently and was rejected due to my pulse being too rapid. I was also experiencing some heart palpitations, so I scheduled a checkup with my doctor, ordered full blood work, and a ferritin test. So ferritin, by the way, has become very popular. It's one of those terms that are really getting circulated. So this is a good question. Just got the results back, and while my hemoglobin hemoglobin and hematocrit are normal, which this is definitely a regular blood donor to know all of this lingo. They said that the ferritin level was a 7, and normal is supposed to be 16 to, it says 232. So this is extremely low. Do I need to take a break from donating?
Yeah, so this is a great question. And so ferritin can be a marker of iron storage, right? And so when ferritin gets really low, it's not unreasonable to take a break from blood donation. It's interesting. Some of the blood centers have tried trials where they look at ferritin levels in long-time blood donors. And what you will see is that you can still have a hemoglobin hematocrit in a range where you can donate blood, but your ferritin will drop before that. And you can be iron deficient before you become anemic. And so that's the range where she is right now. She's probably iron deficient, but she's not yet anemic. And so it's not unreasonable for her to take a break and to make sure that she gets iron supplementation. And you can follow ferritins with your doctor to make sure that they rise. That's all. She's donating a lot for a woman. And I don't know if she's your reproductive age or not.
Right. I know you're passionate about this.
You know, it's tough. Like in America, in life, it's hard enough to keep your iron up. And so really, I always talk about iron supplementation. I don't think there's ever been a time I've been on a podcast where I don't talk about iron supplementation. And especially if you're donating, every 56 days, like most people are not able to do that. Even, taking iron supplementation, it's tough to donate that often, especially for females.
So what do you recommend? Just tracking those numbers, or do you recommend like more than the 56 days?
So it is individual, based on every individual. So some folks have iron metabolism issues where they're able to do that. And actually some studies have looked at super donors who donate 6 times a year. And then they kind of have looked for, hey, do they have an underlying iron metabolism issue? And it's more frequent, in that population, so that they're able to continue to qualify to donate even though they're donating so frequently. So if you're able to do it and you're rigorous about it, for men 6 times a year you can do, and for women too, if you're really, really careful about it, I think it's reasonable to donate 2 to 3 times, maybe 4 times a year for most females, and for males, probably 3 to 6 is is kind of where a good, like, good job. High five.
Yeah. I like that. Okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit. Watching the first season of The Pitt, they mentioned Dr. Mel King regularly donates blood. I know ER had a couple of episodes where John Carter donated in emergencies because he was O negative. Do you know of any other fictional characters where people donate blood? Like, do you know off the top of your head?
So what was the second example you gave?
John Carter in ER.
In ER. So I'll go back even further because I'm old, and I was watching St. Elsewhere. I don't know if many people watch St. Elsewhere. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Stephen Bochco. No. Anybody? NBC Thursday nights. Okay. So, oh my gosh. So St. Elsewhere. Look it up. Hill Street Blues, same creator. And there is a hospital there, St. Eligius. I can't believe I remember all this stuff.
Wow.
And they were in Boston, and they had a blood shortage, of course, because they're St. Elsewhere. And so they held blood drives there. And it was funny because the same staff that are treating all the different patients that are coming through the ER and through everywhere are doing the blood collection. And it's like they go to a room to collect blood, and somehow the only person there is the doctor and the donor,
right?
Who is a patient, and they're collecting blood, like totally not.
They did that on The Pitt.
So The Pitt was interesting. So there's a discussion about walking blood banks, right? That is kind of going on. And I'm not at this point in time, I am not a huge proponent of that.
Isn't that an Army thing too, though? Like a military
so it's
thing?
okay in the Army.
Right. Those are extreme situations.
Yeah, but I think that the way we have, in terms of medicine and regulations now, that's not really something. And FDA has actually recently come out and said, we're not really looking at that for the civilian population. But it's conceivable at certain times you could have a set of donors who you've reserved. It's just like, hey, if we call you, come in and donate.
Yeah.
But to me, I'd rather they just come in and donate, right? Don't wait for the call. If you're eligible, come in and donate. And then that blood that you donate today is going to be available for somebody tomorrow, right? But don't wait, because you can't do the testing. You can't do the right, proper processing. And the last thing we want to do is give out blood products that are not safe. So in that situation on the pit, like that's where I kind of threw my hands up a little bit. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. I know she's a regular donor and she's very, generous, but there's no way that you're going to have the blood bags to collect the blood in the ER.
And that they all can stick, they're all like trained phlebotomists. Sure.
Yeah. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. It was interesting though. I was like, oh, wow. There's another, when you get to this season, they have, they show the cooler, their blood cooler. It's pretty interesting. It's not very full. So it's a little scary, but I love the show. And if you don't watch, you should. It's on HBO, right?
So I watched the first show, but I'm holding off on the second show till a few more episodes to download.
Yeah, I think we're one behind. I think because we watch weekly, but I think we're one behind. Another show, The Office. Everybody watches.
Well, let me go back to the pit.
Okay,
so
go back.
One of the things that they were talking about there a lot is like Oneg. We need Oneg. We need Oneg. Oh, I'm Oneg, and that's true. Like Oneg is awesome.
Yeah.
But in a situation like that, with a mass casualty coming through, they're going to be using OPAWS. In some
like our
situations.
EMS people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So they got that wrong. That's why they need to hire
Dr.
They
get it wrong, but
you're right. Yeah. The Office, there's an episode where this one's kind of funny. Michael Scott donates at a blood drive. However, Phyllis and Stanley lied about donating just to get the cookies.
So I had a donor once in San Diego when I was there who, we were having a promotion thing, and we were giving away Padres tickets, I think.
Ooh.
And we give out Reds tickets here occasionally. So similar type of thing. And so he had taken off work that day. And his workplace was like, if you show evidence that you've given blood, we'll give you the day off as a vacation, a vacation day, I think, or as a work day, you'll get paid for it. And he had taken the day to go, no, it wasn't for Padres, but he went to a Padres game that day. Yeah. And at the end of the day, then he's going to pick up his donation on the way back. And he didn't qualify to donate.
Oh, no.
And so he's like, I already took the day off. Like I need to have a receipt or for sure a proof that I donated. And we're like, you can't donate today. And so I don't remember what the final situation was for him, but it's like, do it first and then go have your fun day.
Everyone in MASH gave blood in the episode post-op. Colonel Potter demands and eventually gets nearly everyone, including a reluctant Frank Burns, to donate during a crisis. It comes up a lot. Sophia was nice enough to give us a bunch of examples. There's an episode of 911 where firefighters organize a blood drive, which leads to Captain Bobby Nash, who was initially reluctant to donate due to a bad experience with needles as a child. Again, relatable for Sophia anyways. Finding out his blood has a unique property. It is Rh null blood.
Oh my gosh.
Which they call golden blood. Is this true? Yeah. And is extremely rare and can be used to save newborns. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
That's crazy. They got it right.
Very... It's not commonly ordered, I'll say.
Okay. So we were saying that this is relevant because we just had Miami Township on our podcast to talk about how they are carrying blood and doing it very efficiently. We also have several in Indiana. We have Let's Community Volunteer Fire Department, Ripley Life Squad, and Switzerland County Emergency Response. And you were mentioning we're trying to get more. We want to get more of these EMS people carrying blood, able to give blood products at the scene of some sort of trauma.
So we're not actively recruiting for it, right, at all, but we're just approached by them, and if they are interested in doing it and they've done work to try to get it, then we want to work with them. But we're not trying to convince anybody to do it if they
I like that. Call us.
No, and they're calling us because it's like there's a bunch of different configurations that they can do, so we have to talk to each one, and then there are risks that are involved, for the medical director who's over that process, because they don't want to give blood that can cause adverse reactions, right?
For sure.
It is a higher profile of risk, but the benefit is so huge for those folks who need it.
This person is asking about a blood drive at their school, so probably a younger person, but they ask about the type of needle. Now, somebody I saw online was saying that if you do a double red donation, it's a different needle and it hurts less. True?
True. So it's a gauge size that they're talking about. Yeah. So the width of the diameter of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
So we use I hope I get these numbers right. I think we use a 16 gauge needle for a whole blood donation because it's got to flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to fill up this bag, and so we can't use a little needle and have the flow be so slow. And then we don't want to hemolyze or destroy the red cells as they pass through either, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we use a bigger gauge needle, and that's why we can collect blood, in 10 minutes typically, for a whole blood donation.
Yeah.
With the double red, it's using, mechanical forces and is able to control the blood flow well. And so they are approved using a smaller gauge needle.
Mm-hmm. I like this question because I actually just learned this recently. So this person does double red typically, but can they alternate between that and whole blood? And let's just throw in platelets too. So if I'm a regular platelet donor, can I switch to whole blood? Can I go back and forth?
Yeah, you can for sure.
Okay.
But the deferral period is going to stick with you, I think, from, so
The whole blood?
Yeah. So if you donate a double red, right, it's a 16-week deferral period versus a whole blood is an 8-week period. So if you do a double red, it's going to have to wait the 16 weeks before you come back and donate whole blood.
Got it.
And then if you donate whole blood, then it'll be an 8-week period after that. For platelets, I'm trying to remember if there is a long deferral period after donation of platelets. I don't think there is, but there may be. I don't know how long you have to wait after donating whole blood before you can come in for a platelet donation. I'd have to look that up.
See, what I've heard is and if you're a platelet donor, you know about how you get the rinse back. That it's not guaranteed that you get that rinse back. So we actually do ask you if you're going to do whole blood to wait longer but I don't know the exact.
I think it's probably 8 weeks. I mean, it would not be longer than the normal deferral period for the next, donation.
I really like this one because I've actually seen people do this. It says, parents, do you bring your children to your blood donation? If it's allowed, of course. It says, I'm not a parent and I'm at least a few years away before I can even consider it. I think this means donating maybe. But if I were, I'd definitely bring any hypothetical children to my donation. So what are you thinking about this? Because this person mentions that, maybe it teaches the child. I remember my dad took us to vote, like when he would vote. And then when I could vote, I was like, I remember going with my dad. That was so cool. So anyways, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
I like the pause. This is dramatic.
I have to find out what we do here exactly. But
I've seen kids, but not like
they have to be supervised.
I don't think they're like
safe for them.
On
right?
top. They're not sitting on mom or dad.
Yes,
exactly. We don't want any of that. But
so. I'll go back again to where I worked previously. We actually had a room that was built that had windows in it. So, because you wanted to keep an eye on the kids too. So that was next to the drawing area. And so
we need
like
Jim. Jim needs to get on this. Jim Watts. We had him on a couple weeks ago. So this is part of the dojo.
That was very cool. I was like, so they can't be running free. I think that was the other thing is they can't be running free, and you can't have them like in a fixed site center, right? You can't have them in the donation area,
right? Because
there's just too much going on, and there are needles, and there's and so typically, they have to sit in the waiting area, but and so then you don't want to leave your kid unsupervised, right? So it oftentimes if people come in with their kid, they'll come in with another adult, to be able to sit with them, and then I don't have any problem with that. But it is the donor draw area. We do have to be careful with and make sure that there's nothing weird that goes on.
Yeah, along the same lines, because I have a 4-legged daughter. I don't have a human one. And I would love if she could come with me, but we've even looked into the SOP for that. Like, can you bring pets? Not just like my pet, but even though I think she's perfect, but therapy dogs. Could they come in? And they cannot be in that donor center, but they can be in the waiting area, and they can be with you in the canteen.
So that's one of the things I would really love us to do.
You would?
Is to bring more animals into
the
waiting area. I love when, this memorial drive I was talking about.
Oh, yes. I saw her dog there. Yes.
Yeah. She brought her golden retriever. And so, her lab, her lab.
Yeah.
And
beautiful dog.
I just love we should do that. Like the response that we have at our donor center when they bring in therapy dogs
Yes.
just for like employee break
Yes,
stuff
in the atrium.
is just insane.
It
And I'm
is.
like that. I was so upset I missed the dog the last time. I'm
Yep.
like, oh man,
Yes.
and so yeah.
At my last job, if we had a really rough day, they would bring in puppies the next day. And I feel like, like you kind of said earlier with like kind of the divide in this
Oh,
country,
yeah.
that brings everybody together.
Yeah, no, I think again at another place where I worked, the COO, he trained guide dogs, his kids and him for the blind,
Yeah.
and so he would bring his dog in every day, and it was such a well trained
Yeah.
and just just perfect dog, and yeah, people would stop by his office all the time
bet.
to get a little petting time.
All right, we're going to work on this. Stay tuned.
No, I'm totally good. with that.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got
They
your
can't come into
sign-off.
the donor area, but the
Right.
donation area, but
Right.
for sure the canteen area and like, oh my gosh, totally.
Yeah. Well, I thought this was fun. Did you think it was fun?
Oh,
This episode?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
He's
think
like,
so.
what? Well, thank you for answering those
Oh,
questions.
thank
And,
you.
and hopefully, everybody on Reddit appreciates Dr. O's insight into this.
I just hope it doesn't turn into a gazillion more questions there.
No, we want people to be curious. Okay.
Curious. Okay, that sounds good.
That's it for today's episode of Hawksworth Unfiltered. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Blood donation can save lives, and so do you. We're committed to making every donor experience a great one, and we hope to see you in the donor chair soon. If you learned something new today, share this episode with a friend, leave us a review, or hit that follow button so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious, save lives, and keep it unfiltered.